fishing funds. You ain't got no money.
Oh shit, here we go again.
What it do? You should play upon the Z 2 times, and we back at it again. Brand new day, brand new video. Day number 2 of our new schedule. What's happening? We back at it again. Brand new video. January 13th, 2026. Beautiful fucking day outside. It is a crispy, breezy 36 degrees out here in Atlanta. Crispy. I'm talking about. Had to turn the heater on last night. You know, I don't like touching that thermostat. But anyways, today we got a cool little video going on, man. We got a good collection of videos that we're gonna talk about. Where is it a bad business, or did the marketing make this seem like it was a good idea? Because there's a lot of good businesses out there with terrible marketing. There's a lot of businesses out there with great marketing that overshoots the business. There's a lot of people, a lot of things and people in between where the branding and the actual marketing of the brand itself supersedes everybody's expectations. Shit happens. You know what I mean? And we're here to look at it. See if we can decide between the two. Which one is which? If there is a decision to be made, why? Why are some people getting cut out of the deals? Why are some deals not happening at all? You know what I mean? We're here to figure this out. We're here to figure this out. The only way to do it is to watch other people fucking it up. You know what I mean? I hate to say it like that, but I mean, it's the honest truth. But come on, let's go on and get into it, man. You already know what it is, man. We don't waste no time around here. We don't be talking all day about what we're going to do. We're going to do stuff.
I've been using Hungary.
We do stuff. We get into it. These motherfuckers here, man. They tried to get my ass.
What if I told you
All right, we got
that
Fawcett
the
Media.
internet that makes people famous can make people, or it can break people? Keith Lee was in California doing his regular food reviews.
Let's go.
You know, he's a good
fan of
brother.
Keith Lee
Like,
over here at this channel, y'all.
always in a giving spirit. So
Oh yeah, don't forget, y'all, man. If y'all on YouTube, y'all watching this, man, make sure that y'all go down there to the descriptions. Look at the people that I actually have linked into the comments or the description. Those are the people that are original videos, man. We just here to comment, react. All right. Make sure y'all go show them love.
So he goes to California to check
This is
out
Fawcett
the restaurant
Media.
that's been made viral by Unc. You know, Unc with the tendonism. You know, he gets some oxtails or he gets some ribs, and he puts them up there and they fall off the bone.
Look,
Yeah.
I told you, destination, one in the nation. That what we do down here. I don't think we was playing though. See this brisket here? I tried telling y'all about tenderness.
Keith Lee wants to experience this for himself. But let me just tell you, like, a lot of times you have people that will take advantage of people with a little motion. And let's just say Unc with the tendonism got the motion. But let's see what Keith Lee's review was like. And we'll see the squandering of a golden opportunity. This video has been liked 1.3 million times.
Me and my family are currently in Marietta,
God
California.
damn.
And this, in my
1.3
opinion, is the
million
most
times.
anticipated video I've ever done. In my
Okay.
hand is food from Destination Smokehouse, Unc with the tenderism. My whole mission today to see, in my opinion, is the food actually tenderism, or do I just love watching Unc? Let's find out together. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. We spent 100.
He always gets that wrong. It's actually tendernism.
And $29.77. The customer service, my family said, was very good. This food was quick. It only took us 10 minutes to get it. And Unc is here, but Unc walk around with 4 different security guards, which I fully
Damn.
understand because people probably bombarding him nonstop. So I'm gonna show you the thing I got, and we're gonna try it and rate it 1 through 10. Holiday yams, mac and cheese, coleslaw, 2 orders of Texas toast, 4 sides of barbecue sauce. and a
Normal
3-meat
review.
plate. I got a beef rib, some oxtail, and some brisket. We gonna start with
Okay.
what I came here for. The
Okay.
beef rib. I didn't touch it. I didn't do nothing. This how it came. To me,
I can't lie, I love some beef ribs. Not everybody even has them.
Yeah.
And if you
it's
find a
hard to
place
get some
that
beef
does 'em
ribs out
well,
of this motherfucker.
Keep them close. You know what I'm saying? Beef ribs
Mhm.
are A1.
it looked like
Yeah,
it's
man.
sliced. It looked like they slit it straight down the back. So when I pick it up,
Oh, so that's a little bit of
They cheat.
the stagecraft, you know, because he picks it up and it falls off the bone, right?
that's what happened. I'm gonna pick it up and see if it fall off the bone. Well, there ain't no bone in here. I'm gonna just see if it fall apart.
All
It
right.
do not.
It do not.
This thing ain't going nowhere. The most
Is that exposing them for false
Slick.
advertisement?
I mean, if you ask me, man, if you go to a place and then their number one thing is the beef ribs falling off the bone, and it looked like you opened up the pack and it looked like the bone was just placed there on top of the meat, you can't even do the tenderism thing. You can't even do the you can't even do that. Then what are we doing? That's the whole purpose of this whole situation. The stodum blew up because bruh doing the fall off the bone joint. If the bone ain't even connected to the meat in the first place, then what are we doing? You just threw the bone back up on top of some beef ribs that you done already dissected. I mean, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, actually, what are we doing? Because if you ask me, that's false advertisement.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Let's get back into it. Oh, it's buffering. They played him.
I mean, Unc is serious about the meat falling off the bone.
Right.
this thing ain't going nowhere. The most important is how it tastes. Let's see.
Well, that is the most important.
It look
It's
chewy.
very smoky. I think it could definitely be more salt added to this. But right now, I just taste smoke and a lot of peppercorns, which is a very good plus. It's
Okay.
juicy. You see it's all on my beard. It's all on my lips. Top of there.
Pour that sauce on there.
That barbecue sauce is sweet, and I think exactly that's what it needs. Again, a little more salt would take this a long way. But as is, I'm at a 7.5 out of 10. This might be the
Pretty good.
that we were talking about.
Pretty good.
7.5 ain't bad.
Oh. That one fell off the bone. Yeah.
It's tender now. Not as tender.
Is it? That's tender now. That
That's
tender.
tenderism.
Where's that?
Now, if I had glasses, I'm throwing the glasses on the floor. That is delicious. Fantastic, man. Actually, tender, juicy,
Okay.
peppery, smoky, salty. That
Got
might
all
be
the
the best
flavors.
oxtail I've ever had. It's top 3 and it ain't 3. I'm supposed to be
All
tasting.
right.
I'm on my 3rd bite.
Means 1 or 2.
Delicious. For me, personally, 9.7 out of 10.
All right.
It's the peppery. Good. And this is tender.
Okay.
I want a 9.5.
All right, this
All right. That's a high review.
it ain't going nowhere. Oh, there you go.
That's the brisket.
Bit of pull action. This is extremely
Appreciate that follow, Vivian.
over seasoned, in my opinion. When it comes from not
I'm
only
not
the sodium
down,
level, but
but
also
I
the flavor level.
appreciate
That's a
the-
decent
okay.
brisket,
that follow.
in my opinion. 6.5 out of 10. This nigga from
Twitch
Texas.
gang.
You can't win them all. You know what I'm saying? I think that oxtail review is worth its weight in gold.
I got somebody from Texas with me. He's trying to understand.
Oh, that's a juice piece.
Tribe barbecue. Texas got some good barbecue.
Yeah. Supposed to.
This the mac and cheese. I don't know if this is oil or if this is a lighter. But
Butter starts separating from the noodle.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
the cheese
No.
completely separated. It almost curdled. I don't know what noodle that is. This the noodle. Not a fan of that. This the yam.
All
Like I
right.
said, it almost curdled.
Sweet, cinnamon, a lot of spices and flavors. 8 out of 10. For me, the standout is absolutely the oxtail. But past
What up,
oxtail,
Stream
the
Hub?
standout is unk. Not only in my opinion is it extremely hard to get people engaged like that, to show your true personality,
That's
to
right.
be yourself, no matter how fast things take off in the space. I don't think he intended for it to go the way
He said, we went in to have a conversation with Unc to leave him a $5,000 tip plus $1,000 to pay for anybody in line, which I think it was $4,000 tip he had plus the $1,000 because he went and took $5,000 out.
it is going. I think he just wants to show his love of food and his love of what it is that he's doing. I'm personally taking $5,000 out of my own bank. And
Nope. You ain't trying to slide no damn ads in on me. I ain't getting paid for no ads. Y'all ain't paying
want
me.
to say happy holidays to
But it didn't go as planned.
So, update. We could not get to Unc. Security said it was over with for the day. They said that he was filming something. I believe he was
Wow.
filming a podcast. We had $5,000 in cash or $4,000 in cash that we was gonna give him a hand. They didn't take it, so we not only gonna take this money and feed some people, but we just gonna do what we feel like we're supposed to do in the community with.
And as always, after this, I pray and hope that
Wow.
they continue to reach their target audience. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe. Me and my family are currently in Marietta, California.
So there you have it. So Keith Lee with over, what is he now? 17.4 million followers on TikTok comes to your establishment to reach out to your most famous, most viral person, Unc. And somehow the message didn't get through to them. Somebody at the front did not know who Keith Lee was, obviously, and restricted access because Unc is busy. Unc is doing a podcast right now. Unc is the most popping thing in Marietta, California. We got to restrict access to Unc. So somebody's overzealous security guard stopped Unc from receiving a $4,000 tip for being the spokesperson. Because I think a lot of people mistook. They thought Unc actually owned the restaurant. The Destination Smokehouse is actually owned by somebody else, not Unc. Unc is a paid spokesperson, which, you know, in normal businesses, that's not even like a thing. But, you know, it's like Bruh's Barbecue on Friday After Next was owned by John Witherspoon, Pops and Unc. I guess that was Pops and Unc too. But either way, like, so Bruh's Barbecue, you going down there, you're going to see them, right? To support them. Unfortunately, Unc, in this case, does not own Destination Barbecue. And I think people figured that out and they were a little disappointed. But Keith Lee's going there to show his support for Unc in particular. Because we don't know what Unc is getting paid. We don't know if he's being taken advantage of.
Right.
You know, obviously he is the business right now. And we just want him to be looked out for, you know. So on the left is the owner of Destination Smokehouse, and on the right is Unc, right?
Okay.
They had to respond to Keith Lee because the press was so bad that, you know, they weren't able to get to Keith Lee, and the fact that he did the review without them, without their knowledge now they feel some kind of way. And so this guy right here, actually is the owner of Destination Smokehouse. Let's hear what they had to say.
If I would have known he was here, I would have probably asked Edie to stop for a few seconds so we could go over there. That's what I would have done. But ever since I reached out to him, I've gotten zero response. I thought I was very respectful. From what I've watched from the review, it just didn't seem like he really captured what it's like when you come to this place. It's just disappointing that as popular.
So now you listen to the full review. I played the full review for you.
Right.
But somehow this guy who, first off, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Like, let me just say
right.
that.
Nobody worry about you,
nobody came to see this
dog.
owner. But now he's mad at the review that Keith Lee gave the place. Talk about looking a gift horse in the mouth. And Unc is sitting there not saying anything, you know, like he needs to keep this quiet. Now, you don't want to mess up Unc's situation. Obviously, Unc's got a good situation for where he's at. But now the owner is coming in and showing the true motivation behind Unc with the tenderism.
As people can be on social media, people don't know everybody. Sorry, brother.
Hey, that's all right. Hey, look here.
Yeah, let him talk.
That's what we need to do in this podcast. He's sitting in with us. Then that way we can clear all this stuff up. Like I am in.
Mind you, that's what they were doing when Keith Lee came. They got this man working on a podcast. They got him doing social media videos.
Right.
Like, they are putting Unc
got
to
him,
work
they got Unc
in a
all
way
over the place,
that
man.
we probably haven't seen since
Like, that
Joe
man ain't
Jackson.
70 years
so
old.
now they over there cracking the whip on Unc, missing out on thousands of dollars of people coming in and a great review of the restaurant. So I rightfully so, this is leaving a bad taste in people's mouth, no pun intended, about Destination Smokehouse.
Since a little older than a little bit, not much now. And so, you know, hey, I want to get it in over. Let don't be candy coated. Let's just sit down, gentleman conversation, you know, drink some Kool-Aid or something.
Keith Lee is on the move constantly. He ain't got time to come back and do this podcast now. He ain't got time, which I don't even know where this podcast exists. Is it on iTunes? Got a barbecue podcast? That's crazy. Yeah, we really in a
different world, boy.
We in
got
another
a barbecue
time for sure.
Together and we eat some of these oxtail.
Sorry, brother.
Hey, that's all right. Hey.
So yeah, so he realized he was overstepping his bounds and not letting Unc speak for himself. Unc needs to speak for himself.
Look.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again.
Oh, they slid it on me. Slid it on me. All right, Ryan Reynolds.
I told you, destination, one in the nation, that what we do down here, I don't think we was playing though. See this brisket here? I tried telling y'all the tenderness. So if it, boy, look here, this is tenderness at its best. Like the afternoon, where you at? But I'm just down here, look here. I just want to make sure everything is all right.
Oh yeah, push that one a little bit.
But I'm saying, do that look like I'm playing? You see, this real.
That look like I'm playing.
I love how he gets up.
Telling y'all.
He gets up and take your glasses off. That's his trademark. That is his move. But rightfully so, I think people are kind of wondering about Unc's situation at Destination Smokehouse.
Let's get that mother. And the owner is jealous of Mr. Tenderism popularity.
Wow.
He don't like that Unc blew up on social media. He don't like that everybody thought that Smokehouse Destination was his restaurant.
By Unc.
He don't like that at all. It's to the point now, he try to make sure that he in the videos. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Ain't nobody coming to see. Unc need to go ahead and sign with Death Row. Cause if you don't want an owner that's all up in your videos, dancing in the videos, you need to go somewhere else where you're gonna be appreciated.
So I'm gonna go to let's see, Oxtail first, my brother's favorite. Let's see. All right.
Come on, man.
Hold on. Let me see. Am I doing it right, Walt?
Man, look at here, man. Don't be trying to mess my cocktail.
See, see,
man,
my bad.
That's cold blood. Look,
Hey.
That's cold blood. See,
It came off.
I
Let's see
ain't
what it
worried
tastes
about
like,
that.
though. Hold on. It's got to taste good.
Wait a
Tenderism isn't about it being tender. It's got to taste good, too. That's what tenderism means.
And how all of a sudden you telling
I don't
somebody
think
what
this
tenderism
is a
is.
situation
Like,
of
what?
not understanding where your bread is buttered. Like the fact that people responded to Unc, you should stick with the fact that Unc is there instead of trying to wedge yourself into the videos. Because I've seen a couple of those videos, and now the owner is trying to be more present in the videos. He's trying to get in there and, you know, and try to mix it up. But Unc is the draw.
Right.
You got to understand that. And not try to jump in there and try to get your own shine off of it.
That's where you're gonna be appreciated. And then you even look at the podcast, whatever it was doing, talking about Keith Lee. He said, if I knew Keith Lee was here, talking about the owner, he said, we would have stopped and went to see him. Keith Lee wasn't there to see you.
At all.
Keith Lee was there to see Unc. That's it. That's all. And maybe your employees, so he would have showed love to them. But he didn't come to see the owner. He came to see.
He came to see Unc.
Well, he was trying to give the restaurant, the establishment, $1,000. You know, he's basically buying food for all the people that was coming up after him, probably. You know, but sometimes, like I said, people can't see when they're being blessed. You know, they can't understand where their bread is buttered. That Unc is really, really the draw here. We don't know anything about this Destination Smokehouse unless you just happen to be in California in that particular area.
Right. Who we came to see. That's who we came. You're just trying to overly insert yourself.
Who we came to see, y'all?
In the goddamn program when we don't want you in the program. We get it. It's your restaurant and all that. You can appreciate it from afar. We don't wanna be shaking hands with you, kissing babies with you. But yeah, like I said, the owner is
kissing
jealous
babies with you
of Mr. Tenderism. And it's just that simple. I don't know how we don't even see it. We all see it. And Unc just sitting there without a word to say. Unc, speak up! Speak up! Blink.
This dude's a little intense with it. He's had other celebrities there, Desi Banks.
What are you gonna do? DJ Dinosaur Ball. What are you gonna do? I tell you, just in the deal.
That tenderism.
Can I pick one of them up? Man, pick the...
See, that would be the experience that Keith Lee would want to have, is go there and be with Unc and pick up some meat, let it fall off the bone, you know? After doing the review. The oxtail.
I don't know why people coming down here.
Got up and run it.
One in the next. And be asking us about the food.
Set him down.
We're gonna need your teeth. This next what we do. It's real. It's real. It's real.
Yeah. Get low on him, Unc. Get low on him.
Still on the table. They call this shit Cut. Y'all don't get nothing there.
Cut it off.
And then, shake a little bit.
Slapped his, threw his glasses off.
I just want to see if they
See, you got people at home doing their own tenderism now.
Tender ain't the word.
Ain't the word.
Somebody need to find out if Tenderism need help over there, because they doing that man wrong. So Keith Lee went to see Tenderism. He went to see how good that.
See, now it's almost like you remember the dude that they were calling Salt Bay, where he come over and just sprinkle some salt. Seemed like when you go to the restaurant, that's part of the experience now, is that you got Unc in the restaurant with you, watching you pull the meat.
Because if you look at them posts.
Falling off the bone. Look at him. Look at him. He doing his dance. He doing his move. It falling off the bone. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, Unc has 4 security guards now. You might not be able to catch Unc in the restaurant on a regular basis, but you got some.
Thing up right now. This my partner, Nick. He my brother. He my ex-bone Tone. We gonna keep it that way. Hey, we don't need no hate. Look, don't hate on him. Don't hate on we trying to do.
I can take it. It's not about that.
Take
you
that.
Know.
Hey, look. Yeah. Hey, if y'all want to help something, send some good comments. Come down to destination. It's in the southern part of California, City Be Very Epic. I'm talking about destination one in the nation. Then you'll understand. This young man here, I forgot. As long as I live, I ain't gonna be old as him. But however, let me tell y'all something. This guy here, he got all my love.
Look at that.
Yeah,
look at Walt getting soft on us.
I'm telling you from another side. I don't do no hugging no more. Okay, anyway, let me get this straight. Me and him, boy, we gonna ride the house like Roy Road Trip. I'm out of here.
Roy Rogers reference. Well, I mean, it seems that Unc has made his choice, and that's obvious here. He is loyal to the Destination Smokehouse, whatever that means. It just seems that, as someone in entertainment, I can see trends and how things have gone throughout history. For the longest time, Black people have become the engine, the builders of platforms, and then they're
using you as a caricature.
And that's what we don't want to see happen. Until they can't use you no more. We don't want to see Unc be the black shows on WB or what was that other one? UPN, or Fox even. Fox is interesting story because people don't realize this about the Fox network. In the early days of Fox, they couldn't really get a lot of momentum. So they started adding shows like Martin and Living Color and all these shows that built that network to what it is today. And unfortunately, if we have to look back in hindsight, I mean, Fox in Living Color literally made the halftime show. They made something, a halftime celebration during the show. That's really when we got a halftime show on a regular basis with a big marquee name. But what we don't want to see is that I think what people are responding to in this cultural moment is that we don't want to see Unc being used. I want to make sure that Unc is taken care of far after he's gone. With as much energy and attention that he's brought to that business, there should be an ownership stake in there. Now, I'm not in Unc's financial business. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I would hate to see Unc being used as a mascot.
Right.
The mascot has no interest in the team going forward. He has no financial interest in doing whatever. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm sure Unc has a family, probably some kids somewhere. His family should be taken care of off this business as well. You all should, in some ways, become partners because his social media virality and bringing all these people, all these celebrities that you see stopping in there should be worth something.
It should be.
And that's what we want to make sure.
I guarantee you, wasn't nobody buying them $100 platters before Unc started doing the tenderism shit.
No matter what, what you think about this business. And, like I said, it's not a sanctioned business. There's no union support. But, I mean, if Unc isn't able to get some part, if Unc isn't taken care of, I would expect Unc to branch off and start his own place. He could still be a spokesperson for Destination Smokehouse, but Unc is that popular right now. The potential for having him with his own restaurant is way higher. And that's why I think the price of some type of ownership stake for Unc is a small price to pay to not have to deal with him as the competition. I don't know how big Marietta, California, but is there a space for competition? So Unc might go to the big leagues and move to LA or something, or San Diego, whatever's closest. But we don't know. So that's all I would say about this. I want to see Unc being taken care of, and I want to understand that is the situation. He seems happy in what he's in right now, but I want to make sure that he has some type of, that he's not missing out on another $4,000 tip.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if he's not making $4,000
a day
doing all this free advertising. We're in a different day and age, man. Your spokesperson online is probably as valuable to you as the recipe that you hold dear. Your method or your process or the quality.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, and especially
you ain't lying.
In barbecue.
You ain't lying. In barbecue.
A tradition that is been cultivated over the years in the black community, making oxtails, for oxtails to be one of your most favorite dishes. That was a throwaway part. That was the leftovers. It was an undesirable part, and now it's become a delicacy. A delicacy. And I know other cultures make it as well, but in this particular fashion, the popularity of something that is the brilliance of Black Americans. That is our real contribution to the world in a lot of ways. And we should be compensated for it. But anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. Shout out to Keith Lee and shout out to Unc with the tendonism. Yeah. Go check out their stuff, man. And if you're in Marietta, go support Unc. Go say what's up to him. Anyway, and make sure you sign up for the Patreon. The link is in the description. This is Fawcett Media.
Sora 2 video generation is not
Ooh. I want to get up out of here, Sora.
So in the next couple of days, the WNBA players are going to decide if they want to go on strike. And if they decide to go on strike, apparently that could be the end of the WNBA.
Again, okay, with that last one, the marketing is superseding the business. If it wasn't for the marketing, the business would not be good. It just so happens that the business is trying to stay level with the marketing because Unc blew up. Folks is coming to see you because of Unc, but the product is keeping you level. But now that people are seeing that you're probably not doing right by Unc, the business might fall off as soon as that damn smoky flavor go away. You know what I mean? Now the WNBA is a different story. It's been a failing business for a minute now. You finally got some superstars in there. It's driving the business up a little bit higher. But if these superstars go on strike, you're going to be out here looking crazy.
WNBA cannot come back from this.
So people thought Angel Reese was insane last year when she said, yeah, CBA's coming up. We deserve more. Because I'm here, and if y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. What are you, crazy? Sit out and crush all the momentum from Caitlin Clark? Well, guess what? Just this week, W players voted yes on a strike. Not on strike yet, but it's officially on the table.
Dang.
Oh, and this was 98% yes. You never see
Dang.
that kind of agreement from
98%
players.
is crazy.
All on the same page. But if this happens, it could be the end of the WNBA as we know it. Because other leagues are popping up saying, hey, you don't like the W? Come play here. We'll pay you more.
Oh, I would let them. If I was the WNBA, I would let any players that wanted to go play in this other league play in that league. Because if we couldn't make money as the WNBA, literally the WNBA, you're going to take the same players that we had and you're going to find a way to make money. I would watch and see what they do. And if it does work out, I would use their business model and reopen the WNBA, and everybody's going to come back because everybody wants to be a part of what is associated with the NBA, right? It's the biggest league in the world, let's be honest. So if that could be a W for the WNBA. In fact, if this happens, this might be the first year where they don't lose money with the WNBA. If they go on strike and they decide to not do the year, this could be the first year they actually break even.
Unrivaled Project
they might be able to turn a profit on
already
them.
signed dozens of the top WNBA players
let
to
them
say,
do it.
forget the old league, we tried and it failed. But how did this happen? Right when things are going good, it could die? Well, I'll tell you why it happened. Money. It's always money. Caitlin Clark comes into the W, single-handedly lifts the league. For example, the average W game, not involving Caitlin, got 394,000 viewers. But the average Caitlin Clark game, 1.4 million.
Whoa, that is a huge... So why were people upset when she was saying that she was making an impact, or when people were saying that her impact was felt in the WNBA? I wonder if it's just because it got politicized, so people felt like they had to stick to their guns with whatever argument they started with. Because these numbers, I mean, they're not gonna lie. That's a huge difference. That's like over 2 times the amount.
Well, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. This is one of the first times ever in WNBA history when you actually have a true rivalry. And the rivalry was bred during college, where 1.4 million viewers is not unheard of during women's March Madness, men's March Madness. That's normal average numbers. So the fact that y'all was able to convert that from the college realm to the WNBA realm, it's saying a lot. But at the same time, this is cultivated over multiple years prior to them actually getting to the point where they come to the WNBA, and then the marketing team of the WNBA, selling that idea as well. I mean, that's a big part of it.
Over 3 times the amount.
That is over a 200% increase for one player, but it affected the whole league. Like, we all know interest in the W as a whole is up. We experienced it. Look at the average finals ratings. Around 600K before Caitlin Clark, but her rookie year, 1.6 million viewers, and she wasn't even involved.
Dang, that's the Caitlin Clark stimulus check.
Right then, a new media rights deal was up. Perfect timing. They would get to cash in on this Caitlin Clark popularity. So the W signed a $2.2 billion deal to show their game starting in 2026. They also expanded to add 6 teams, each paying up to $250 million to get in. So why not share the wealth? Players all mad
Because
wearing
you still ain't making no more money.
At All-Star, but the owners...
See, the problem is that they pay. You got 6 more teams paying $250 million. So that's half. So that's 1. Half. That's 2. Half. That's 3. That's $3 million extra dollars when you're working at a $14 million per season deficit. And that still ain't counting, obviously we're not factoring in the whole, the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement with the TV stations and whatnot like that, which is probably going to be pretty low because I don't really see WNBA TV or WNBA NBA games getting advertised on TV or broadcast channels that much. Honestly, if I want to go find them, I'd have to go to ESPN and then hit the link to go to whatever channel might be watching it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's just widely advertised that you're going to be watching a WNBA game on TNT at this day, on this time, prior to it actually happening. So, I mean, you can cut that part. So you probably could give them another, 15, 20 mil, maybe. But then you're still getting subsidized $14 million a year by the NBA and still not making more than $14 million a year because you're still in the deficit. So, I mean, the math ain't quite mathing yet for them to get a pay raise. Now, us facilities upgrade, better marketing for the stars of each team, so you can go and be able to get, beneficial, what's the shit called? sponsorships from other, brand loyal situations, then yeah, that's going to probably end up starting to happen where your money starts to bubble up a little bit better. But I mean, the fact that the entire league is still running in a deficit, even with an added $3 million per year just because of the entry fee for the new teams, doesn't change the fact that they're still working at a deficit. And if you're working at a deficit, it's hard as hell to say that I'm going to pay everybody more. You're working at a deficit still. As simple as that. Math got a math.
Well, it's because they're not making any money.
Loaded this league for decades before Caitlin Clark. Yeah. And now you want to share the money? Yeah. How about sharing all the debt all those years before? Oh, no, you didn't want to do that. But now you want the money. But this is the time of year that NBA players start to kind of slow down. New Year's, right before the All-Star break. But my favorite way to make every game feel like the NBA Finals is get some picks in on Prize Picks. Their app is real easy to use. I just pick more or less on a few players' stats, and a random game in December all of a sudden feels like the playoffs.
You can't afford groceries unless you hit a 17-leg parlay. Crazy world we live in.
Oh, let me give you my two
gambling
tonight.
is everywhere.
First up is AJ Green,
but you gotta let the app play.
Points, and then Nikola Vucevic, more on his rebounds. Best of luck if you're telling those picks. Prize Picks now available in 45 states, including Texas, where I live, or California. And if it's your first time signing up, use promo code AMHoops. And if you do that, when you play just $5, you get $50 in lineups instantly, win or lose. It is my favorite way to watch games and have fun no matter what, win or lose. That is promo code AMHoops. Play 5, get $50 in lineups instantly. In fact, the NBA has kept the W afloat, costing about $10 million per year.
$10 million,
but Clark's rookie year, the W lost more money.
There you go. See? You tried. You tried. You tried. I felt that little pause. You ain't finna get me.
Than ever at $50 million. How is that possible?
Yeah.
Because players wanted more, like private flights to games. So despite making more money than ever, they spent more money too.
Bro, I'll sit commercial. Pay me more money. Finally, we might be able to make a profit with all these new viewers, all these new jersey sales. I'll just sit in American. I'll sit in American Airlines. I'm fine. Just pay me the money. What is this about? Is this about money or is this about private jets? If this is about money, stay commercial, finally make a profit, get some of your investors back some of their money, and then start making demands. What's going on here?
Right.
How are you making demands but before you even made any money?
Before you even made some money.
At the same time, I can't understand
how
where
are you
players
making
are coming
demands
from.
before
First off,
you make
private
money?
Planes, yeah, you can't have Caitlin Clark on American Airlines with me. Well, me, yes, but some of you guys I'm not too sure about. It would be like in the NBA, a random fan being like, hey, Luka, can I get the aisle seat? Sorry, I have to pee a lot. It doesn't work.
I actually think it might be good for press. I think people can resonate with people who are working hard, and when they can see you in public, I think it'd be a good way for some of the players to actually meet people who could potentially be their fans. When you get off the plane or when you get on the plane, they announce, hey, the WNBA is on the plane. You sign autographs, take pictures with babies. I think that's good for press, in my personal opinion. I think when you get to the point where you're doing private jets, it can seem a little bit detached. By the way, people don't understand, but private jets are crazy expensive. They're like $20,000 there, $20,000 back. And that's for like a small personal jet. So I couldn't imagine how much it would cost to charter a whole jet for
Expensive
a whole
is
team, plus staff, plus all the other people that are involved. It'd probably be somewhere.
The only way it will make sense is if there's a dude on YouTube, man. I can't remember what his name is, man. It's the Jet Broker. He'll set you up with a jet with how many people that you have and what your budget is and whatnot like that. He always talks about a 10-year-old jet is actually not that old. It's not like cars. It's a very, it's a lucrative job. But the most expensive jet that I've ever seen on his actual on his YouTube is like $20 million or something like that, which, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's more money than I've ever seen in my life at one point in time. But like, if you think about it in the overall sense, if you're willing to pay $250 million for a team, $20 million just actually doesn't sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? But you can't a private jet would be stupid because you're not only supposed to be facilitating the players, but the coaches and the the actual facility managers as well. Like the personal trainers and the equipment managers and whatnot like that, all of the staff, and then the plane staff. You might as well just get a fucking book up. It's easier if you just book up all the seats on a regular public plane. I mean, if you think about it like that, I mean, $500 a seat, 62 seats or something like that on one of those smaller planes. Get one of those, and you can fill up the whole damn thing with team and staff, with players, coaching, and staff could all just fit on one damn plane if you just book up all the seats, and it'll probably come out cheaper. I mean, the thing with a private jet is that most of the time you still have to pay for the staff separately, but outside of the payment for the jet itself, then you still got to pay for the gas and everything, the fuel for the jet, and more than likely you're not going to have enough space for team coaching and staff. You'd have to go get it. You have to send somebody else on some regular ass public flights, which I mean that's kind of shitty for the people that ain't on the private jet. Whack.
Around $100,000 per flight, and with $100,000 per flight, everybody on the team could make like $10K more per flight if you just decided that you care more about the money than the flights.
Salary?
Right.
Last year, the WNBA Supermax was $250K, average salary $120K, and the minimum just $66,000. But if they go on strike, those numbers go to zero. So they start negotiations last July. The league sent a proposal to the players, and we don't know what it said, but we do know the reaction. One player said, yeah, we got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face. Then MVP runner-up Nafisa Collier threw a grenade into negotiations. She claimed that the W commissioner said something unforgivable.
I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything.
Yeah, well, that's true, right?
I mean, it's 100% true.
In what Nike deals or whatever types of deals you're doing, and
it's 100% true.
Have the platform of the WNBA, so it gives you the ability to make money from advertisers or from doing other things. I think, yeah, that's fair, and you get a good base. I'm not gonna lie. Now, for Caitlin Clark, I do think that she, in particular, should be paid more because of the amount of views she brings in. It's actually surprising that she doesn't get paid more. But for the average to be 120. That's a lot of money. And you're not even playing year-round. Let's be honest here. You're not playing year-round. So for the average to be 120, that's pretty good. I know a lot of people that would be happy making $120,000 doing the thing they love to do.
In that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
What? I mean, it is one thing to negotiate with someone that you disagree with, but to negotiate with someone you hate is 100 times more difficult. But now, some people say this cannot be fixed because what the players really want here is revenue share, which is exactly what NBA players have.
But that's not even profit share. That's revenue share. Not even profit share. If you're going to revenue share, then you got to share some of the debt. You got to share the debt. Then ain't that how it go? Then y'all end up paying the WNBA to stay in the league, right? So like if you want
Hold on, y'all. I'm going to be right. Hello? Okay, there we go. I'm going to be right back, y'all. Hold on. Hopefully y'all didn't hear the mayhem that was just happening there. Ah. Talking about
Have to be willing to also take on the debt.
mayhem.
Isn't that fair?
See, those players split all basketball-related income with the owners 50-50, which means if the league does better financially, the players do better financially.
Right.
And the W players see this awesome trajectory of their league and they want to ride that wave. But it's not all they want. They also want private flights for every team all year, professionalism standards across the league. For example, they don't want to practice at like a community rec center, which I thought was BS. Till I saw this Connecticut Sun thing where they got kicked off their own court for a 2-year-old's birthday party. Seriously, and it was during the playoffs. That actually happened. They
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
kinda
gonna
fucked up.
lie, but I did see a
That's
video
kinda
where they
fucked up.
almost lost to a group of 8th graders.
Yeah.
So it's like ball up. They should have just played for the court. They should have played the 2-year-olds for the court.
But the owners say,
Want to actually stick to your health goals this new year? Making this one change will help keep you on track all year long. I've never been good at keeping my New Year's resolutions, but Hungry Roo has made healthy eating so easy and enjoyable that I'm not even tempted to slack off. This new year, I'm doing no takeout January, and Hungry Roo understands the assignment perfectly, sending me groceries that match my diet.
I sat there and just listened to that whole thing. Oops. They gonna hit me for that. YouTube gonna hit me with
yes, we'll give you more money, but not rev share like the
you're against
NBA.
it.
In fact, they offered increases from a max of $250K to $1.3 million.
Oh my
Average
goodness.
salary from $120K to $530K, and minimum from $66K to $250,000 throughout.
Oh yeah, they done lost their minds. I'm sorry for the word I'm about to use. I know people get a little sensitive. This is
That's
full
wild.
on retarded. This is a classic case of ruining something you have
Yeah.
good because you think that
Yeah.
there's something better out there in the world.
Terrible.
With a negotiation, fine. Shoot for the moon. Say I want revenue share. But what you're supposed to do during a negotiation is be willing to negotiate. When they're telling you we're willing to make the average salary $530,000 and you say that's not enough, this doesn't sound like a negotiation. It sounds like a stick up. What's going on here? When it comes to a good negotiation, right? Both people are supposed to leave the table unhappy, a little bit unhappy. You're not supposed to get everything you want. And I think that this is a good middle ground. I mean, at that point, you're just being ungrateful. And you're in a league that loses money, which doesn't make any sense.
That's
Because
exactly
you're
what it sounds like to
hard
me.
And playing hardball when you don't really have any negotiation power. I remember people like Shaq were saying that maybe they should lower the rim so that the taller women, or it'd be easier for them to dunk, and that would make it more entertaining. And they said no. So they're going, we want this, we want private jets, we want expanded rosters, we want more benefits, but lowering the net to make the game more entertaining? No. They just won't realize how good they had it until they're working at Subway.
Which sounds good, but players say no. In fact, we hate that so much we're going on strike if you don't give us NBA style rev share, because we see that this league's gonna keep growing while you're trying to stick us down here at this fixed money. And we don't care that you lost money on the WNBA all those years. That was your decision. You wanted to start a WNBA league, okay? That's on you. And now we're here.
This
so
is
we
crazy.
want to cut. And even Caitlin Clark said, this is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen. So we are going to fight for everything we deserve. She also said, at the same time, we do need to play basketball.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. The middle people are the ones that's going to get screwed. Caitlin Clark is fine. Angel Reese is fine. All of the big names, they're fine. So they can do this strike. They can demand more money and virtue signal and say, yeah, we stand in solidarity. But if you were really thinking about what's best for the players, you would be telling everybody on your team to accept this deal. The average being $500,000 is not a bad deal. It's not a sour deal. So them putting their feet down and saying we're not going to move is actually doing the average people a disservice, because the people who are going to suffer and who are not going to make any money are going to be the people that are average, because there's not even a guarantee that they're going to even go into the newer leagues that are buying out other players, right? So it's the middleman that's going to get screwed, and it's because some of the people at the top are virtue signaling. No, tell the people around you to settle. This is a good deal. You win the war if you sign this deal, by the way.
Caitlin knows a strike could kill the whole thing. Just look at baseball in 1994. MLB was America's #1 sport. They go on strike in 94, got passed up by the NFL and NBA, and have never come back. And that was the number one sport. What do you think happens with the WNBA?
Right.
All this momentum would be crushed and probably never come back. But this guy, David Sampson, perfectly outlines what happens next. See, he ran MLB teams for 20 years, so he knows all about negotiations. He was asked, what happens if the players don't budge and they don't move on their demands?
Maybe the end of the WNBA. The players will move. The biggest thing they did wrong, they said this is their moment. And so they've put a lot of pressure on themselves. They put themselves in a corner where they feel like they have to get it or it's like a major loss. And so if you had any ability to invest and you wanted to start a league to compete with the WNBA, this is the time. That could be the end of the WNBA.
Oh, and it turns out there are several women's leagues who see this coming. A 3-on-3 league called Unrivaled. A 5-on-5 called Project B.
Yeah, but there's nobody there. When you see all the stands and all of these shots, there's nobody there. There's no human beings there. So unless this is like money laundering, I don't know how they're going to turn a profit if the WNBA, a league that was literally subsidized by the NBA, couldn't sustain itself. I don't know how these companies are going to turn a profit.
All signed dozens of the top WNBA players already, and these leagues are promising them big paydays and rev share to the players. But that would obviously be a huge step back because those leagues don't have the momentum or the popularity of the WNBA. And it would split up all the players.
Like, and it would last for 2 years.
I mean, the WNBA ain't got the popularity of the
This is not a good decision.
Imagine if the NBA fell apart. Yeah, we'd all still watch the players, but if all the players were split among two leagues, it would suck. So as crazy as it sounded, we may actually see these players go on strike, and the W might take a hit it cannot come back from. Dang. But there is plenty of drama going on in the NBA right now as well. If you like sort of the play...
So it's like you got two options right now, right? On one hand, you get private jets, you get $500,000 a year, which seems unfathomable to me for a league that doesn't make any money. But if they can make it happen, hey, somehow you got it to happen, right? You get to work 8 months out of the year, so it's not even full time, and you get to be like a C-list celebrity, right? That's on one hand. And the other hand is you stand your ground and end up working at Subway. It just doesn't even make any sense to me. Right. At this point, it's not even a negotiation. Goofy. It's a stick up. And if the WNBA investors decide that they don't want to be a part of that anymore, I really couldn't even blame them at that point. Let me know in the comments below if this video is a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's help brother out, especially the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.
For a little savings.
No. How about that? How about that?
Does anyone want to explain why?
Okay, so that last video is good marketing. Again, the marketing is superseding the business. This time, the business ain't keeping up with the marketing at all. That's why these girls is trying to act like they finna strike, and they're gonna be sadly mistaken because you strike now, and you ain't gonna have nothing next year or the year after because y'all already holding on by a thread. You working in a deficit for X amount of years since what, 99 is when WNBA came out. You're working in a deficit since 1999. And you think that you're going to, the first time that y'all break even or get close to breaking even, you gonna get a raise? Crazy as fuck. But here we go. We got sneaker resellers now. Is this good? Is this a bad business? Or did the marketing fall off a cliff? Because people have been reselling since the beginning of the time. But the difference is now is that the resellers have been getting a pretty bad rap because they have shitty marketing. Now, is it the business or is it just bad marketing? Let's see.
why shoes are literally just dying right now. I own a sneaker store and we've been struggling for the last couple months. And y'all can say, oh, it's because you overprice things. And I know what you're gonna say. Oh, it's a Yeezy. You're overpricing it. It's $110. Retails like 2 something. Market's like 190. I'm pricing it at 110. It's brand new.
Sneaker resellers are down bad and now have to finally get real jobs. For over a decade now, sneaker reselling has went from a niche hobby into a culture that takes advantage of genuine enthusiasts and collectors. Resellers convinced themselves that they were entrepreneurs running legitimate businesses, but they're just scalpers who add zero value to society. They buy up the products meant for consumers, hoard them all in their mom's basement, and then just suck out the money from all the people who just want to wear the damn shoes. But luckily, now resellers are stuck with inventory that they can't move. Shoes that used to flip for $500 are now sitting at $200 or under with no buyers. These stores that built their entire business model around resale are now struggling to pay their rent. And the people who made it their full-time job are realizing that they're essentially unemployed with no transferable skills. For years, resellers operated under this delusion that they were running a legitimate business. They'd post on social media about their operations, their inventory, their profit margins. They like to talk about sneakers like they're trading stocks and they're a finance bro who lives in New York City. Resellers have now killed the community that they claim to love and be a part of.
Yeah, that customer wanted $100 for those dead stock Metallic 5s. I told him best I can do is $50 store credit. What's up, boss man? What can I do for you?
Yeah, bro, I just got these.
We got some Dunks and Yeezy 350s. People still wear these? All right. Oh, man, they're so scuffed as fuck. I'll do 75 for both. And that's a good deal.
Bro, what? They're going for $500 each online right now.
No, bro, like I get you, but like they have no box. They're dirty. They're scuffs. There's dog shit on the bottom of this one. I'm doing you a favor.
I don't know, man. That's pretty low.
I'll tell you what. Rock, paper, scissors. If I win, I'll give you $200 store credit. If you win, $150 cash. How's that sound?
Dude, what the fuck? You're kidding, right?
Hold that thought. Today's video is brought to you by...
Welcome in, bro. How you doing today? All right, I guess I'll go myself then, whatever.
Every pair that they bought to flip was a pair that didn't go to someone else who actually wanted to wear it. And now they're trying to throw a pity party saying that no one wants to buy their shoes. Every person who is into sneakers has at one point tried to get a limited pair of shoes to be able to wear for themselves, just to lose the raffles and have all of the pairs bought up by these greedy resellers who happen to have 200 pairs the same day that the shoe came out. The reseller mentality is all focused on the short term. They never had sustainability or cared about building something that would actually last. All that mattered was making as much money as possible from other people before the hype dried up. And now that the sneaker market is dead, resellers are moving on and being scummy in other industries just like we would expect from them. Pokemon trading cards, toys, collectibles, really anything that has that artificial scarcity and the potential to be able to resell. The only thing that mattered was making money and exploiting whatever market that they could just to profit. Look at all of the popular sneaker stores that used to be popular 10 years ago. They went from solely selling sneakers to now selling Labubus and doing whatnot streams where they're pretty much begging people to buy overpriced toys. This is the most pathetic and desperate attempt to keep their business alive. They're trying to replicate the sneaker resale model in a different market and they use the same tactics because it is all focused on the same scarcity. And the thing is, every market that they touch, they will eventually destroy because their business model is just unsustainable. They don't help the communities, they don't create value, and they don't contribute anything positive. And then they move on to the next thing. And we can see the same exact pattern happen right now with Pokemon cards. A few years ago, these same people began flooding into the trading card market whenever they saw the prices start to explode. The vintage Pokemon cards that sat in binders for years suddenly became worth thousands of dollars. And the resellers saw this as an opportunity to make more money. They bought up everything they could, from booster boxes, ETBs, individual cards, any sort of sealed product. But the same thing is happening now that always happens whenever resellers join a market: oversaturation. The Pokemon company has started printing more and the supply is finally catching up with the demand. And now a lot of the cards that were selling for thousands of dollars are barely moving for a fraction of the price. And these Pokemon card scalpers are now stuck with all the inventory that they couldn't sell, just like the resellers with sneakers. We've seen the same exact pattern repeat across multiple industries. And the worst part is they're going to do this again and again with every single industry until people stop buying from them. It's so pathetic to see how many resellers resellers have moved on to Labubus and Pokemon cards whenever their market died. The main problem is greed, and they become a plague to every single hobby that they touch. For years within sneakers, Nike and other brands carefully controlled the supply of their most hype releases. They intentionally put out limited quantities, they did exclusive collaborations, they even did regional drops only coming out in certain parts of the world, and all of this was designed to create that sense of urgency. The more scarce that the products are, the more they drove demand, and then that demand later translated into increased prices on a secondary market. But then everything shifted a few years ago. Nike realized how much money that they were actually leaving on the table. They could make way more money just by flooding the market. So instead of releasing one colorway of a popular shoe every year, they started releasing one every month. Dunks, Jordan 1s, Jordan 4s, all of these shoes that were previously always hyped and had resale value were just being pumped out and oversaturated. And when Nike increased the supply, it was actually a really positive thing for everyone. The resellers loved it because they were able to grab up more pairs and have more opportunities to make money. And the consumers also had more releases and a higher number of stock to actually be able to get the shoes that they want. But eventually the market hit that saturation point. Really, consumers only have so much money and so much space in their closet. It's like whenever you own 10 pairs of Dunks or even 10 pairs of Jordans, that 11th pair doesn't really feel as special as it used to. The resellers kept buying and they stockpiled hundreds of pairs, expecting to flip them for profit down the line. But the demand never really came back. Or really, the demand did come, but it was met with so much supply that the prices stayed at or below retail. Resellers are now finding themselves sitting on a mountain worth of dead stock with no buyers. Once Nike realized that they could restock anything and they could still make insane amounts of money, consumers realized that they don't have to pay resale anymore because the shoes will eventually come back out, or another sneaker will drop just next week that will come out that they'll have the chance to buy at or below retail. For years, the market grew because consumers had that disposable income and they were willing to drop hundreds of dollars on shoes. We all know how hard inflation has hit within the last couple of years. Cost of living has increased across the board. Rent is still going up.
As a reformed sneakerhead, and I do mean reformed, like I used to buy a pair of sneakers every time I got paid. As a reformed sneakerhead, it's no longer sustainable to actually do that anymore because all the shoes that you want are going to be sold out as soon as they come out. They get botted out real before you even get a chance to open the app. The app is crashing, and the only people that can get in there is the people that got 1,000 bots logging in at one time, so they can get the shoes and pay for 100 of them on credit cards. And then they're fringing on you going over there and be like, oh man, I can't get them. So I'll have to go over here, and retail was, $210. Now they $450, $330 at the lowest. Especially for my size, I got a really common size, between 12 and 13, common size. They ain't letting up off of them. Everybody want a 12 or 13. So I'm paying $300 instead of the $210 that I could be paying. I got $210 just laying around, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? But do I got $330, $450? Probably not. So I done missed a bunch of releases in the last 2-3 years, and I would normally be on them. I'd much rather just make sure I let the time pass, let the hype pass, and if I really, really like them, I go on the GOAT, go get them verified, and get them for the price that I want to get them. If I'd like them that much, or pay that extra because I like them that much. But more time, back in the days, before 2020, it didn't matter. I'd cop them just because I felt like it. Got the extra bread center over here. I can go walk up to the Hibbett Sports or Foot Action or something like that, and then go up in there and go get me some. And then if I like them, I like them. If I didn't, I just flip them. But I never used to be like a reseller, so where it was like I'm flipping them for profit. I'd be flipping them trying to get as much as I can back from what I had spent off of a one-time wear or something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they be bullshitting. They be bullshitting. And now the game all fucked up. Game all fucked up. I'm not paying you $450 to go curate these shoes that everybody already knows is hype, just so I can get them from you instead of getting them from where I want to get them from. You know what I'm saying? And now y'all stepping on the dope too. So now it's a 50-50 chance that you actually got the legit sneaker and not some Chinese knockoffs that you mixed up in there with the regular ones, and you got maybe like 15 pairs of the real joints that you got from offline and 30 pairs of the Chinese knockoffs that are probably good quality, but still it's a Chinese knockoff. And then it's a 50-50 chance whether or not I get the knockoff or the real joint, but I'm still paying $450. That's not fun. It's not fun.
Groceries are insanely expensive, and so are gas prices. Suddenly, the average consumer just can't justify spending $400 on a pair of Jordans when their paycheck is already stretched thin just covering their basic necessities. The resellers never planned for this. In fact, they were scaling at this point. They capitalized on the market and assumed that people would always be there to buy their shoes. But whenever someone is faced with the choice of paying rent and just surviving or buying that brand new pair of Jordans, we all know what 99% of people are going to do. But now we are seeing so many resellers actually complaining about the economy killing their business whenever they were the ones who were price gouging people, especially during some of their hardest times financially. I think it's ironic as much as it is pathetic. This has just exposed how fragile their entire business model really was from the start. Resellers who quit their jobs to flip shoes full time are now finding themselves with no income and no way to pay their bills. The dumbasses who took out loans to buy inventory in bulk are now going underwater, and they're unable to sell the stock that they've been hoarding for years for even a fraction of what they paid. Reselling is never a stable career path. It's kind of always been like that gold rush where people are making money selling the shovels, not actually going and doing the work and finding the gold. These people are idiots who deserve to go broke at this point, and it is straight delusional to think that people will feel bad whenever you've been taking advantage of them for years. And the market crash wasn't just because Nike started pumping out more shoes. A big part is the quality control problem. We've seen so many posts online of glue stains, misaligned stitching, and just creased leather that comes straight out of a brand new box. That is just unacceptable for most people. People no longer trusted that they were getting a premium product. They stopped believing in the shoes that they were buying and thinking it's worth the inflated prices. And we could talk about all of these different factors, but the simple fact of it is that trends change. But now consumers, especially the younger kids, are moving towards different styles. They're more focused on comfort and affordability rather than hype. Think about all the brands that are blowing up right now, like Hoka, On Running, and New Balance, and it's all because that they're offering something different and innovative that we haven't really seen before. The resale
It's not that. It's that people are taking comfort over form now. People are just being more comfortable. And then accessibility. Period. I mean, most of the people that actually like Jordans and were willing to pay for Jordans, no matter what the cost was, are no longer able to get them whenever they want. So then they are my age, which is I'm 36. You think I'm finna pay $400-$500 for some shoes that, one, the quality ain't what it used to be. The nostalgia factor is gone because they no longer cost anything worth what they used to be. And then they're uncomfortable too. Fuck out of here. I'm gonna go get me a pair of Hokas or some Asics or something like that are gonna be comfortable. The price is a legitimate price that I can actually justify. And then on top of that, like, the ability to actually go pick up a pair whenever you want to is there. I mean, at this point, you can't even buy a pair of white Air Force Ones whenever you want to. You actually got to wait, or you got to order them. And you can't just go up into the store and be like, okay, $89, here you go back. No, they're like $120 now or something for a low top. And then more than likely, they're not even going to have your size. You got to go hunt down the size that you want. Like, I've been looking for a black pair of Air Force Ones for work. And you know how hard it is just to find a pair of black Air Force Ones in a size 12 or 13? Pretty tough. Pretty tough. They sell it out fast. They're getting bottled up so quick so somebody can go make a $30 profit off of them. Stupid.
Resellers always assumed that Jordans and Dunks would be in demand. They thought that this hype would last forever, but even the term hype in general by definition is temporary. Gen Z doesn't really have the same attachment to Jordans like millennials do. We never watch Michael Jordan play basketball in real time, and there's not really a nostalgic attachment to the 90s basketball culture that made sneakers really popular in the first place. For a lot of the younger kids, Jordans are kind of just what their parents wore. They're not willing to pay $400 for a shoe just because it has the Jumpman or Nike Air logo. They want something that reflects their own identity and their own culture, not something that was passed down to them by their parents. And personally, I've seen so many other kids moving on to affordable alternatives or just buying reps rather than paying the ridiculous resale prices. Reps and fake sneakers have become so socially acceptable because at this point they look exactly like the real thing. No kid in high school who has $100 to their name is willing to save up money for a Travis Scott whenever they can just buy a fake pair on some Chinese website for under $50. It's almost cooler for some kids to have a pair of Adidas Gazelles or even some Tims over having that newest Air Jordan release. And it's so satisfying now that the sneaker resellers are actually losing money. But one of the most irritating and false narratives of resellers is that they think that they're entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship involves creating actual value, solving problems, and building something that didn't exist before. Whenever you buy something that already exists and just mark up the price, you're just a scalper. Resellers love to present themselves as these business-minded hustlers talking about growing their empire. They show off their inventory like it's a portfolio. They talk about them like they're investments. But if you strip away all this fake branding and marketing, they're just buying shoes and selling them at a higher price. Real entrepreneurs take risks. They invest time, money, and effort into building something that actually provides value to others. And it's so frustrating seeing all of the dying businesses and resellers complain that no one can afford to buy their shoes anymore. They're making all of these pity posts on social media and acting entitled. I've seen resellers posting their sob stories about how they're struggling now, how they can't afford to pay their bills, how they don't know what to do anymore. And while I don't wish financial hardship on anybody, I feel like there's consequences that need to be addressed. If you built your entire income around a resale business model, you shouldn't act surprised whenever the bubble bursts. And this fake entrepreneurship narrative has also done so much damage, especially to younger kids who looked at resellers and thought that it was a viable career path. These kids in high school and college started reselling thinking that they could quit their jobs and make a livable wage just by flipping shoes. And now those same kids are realizing how many years that they've wasted. They've developed a skill set that is essentially worthless in every other industry. This is an insult to actual entrepreneurs. And it's insane how many of these resellers have now adopted the victim complex. They're out here acting like they're the ones who've been wrong, like they're the victims of some unfair market shift or some external force that they couldn't control. But it was all because of their own greed. Resellers are posting videos complaining about how the market is dead, how they're struggling to sell inventory, how nobody wants to buy for them anymore. They're just begging for sympathy on the internet. This whole victim mentality is absurd whenever you consider that the resellers actively contributed to killing the market themselves. They oversaturated the secondary market with inventory, and they never really cared about the actual consumers. And now they're taking on this identity of being small business owners, being crushed by massive corporations like it's something that they couldn't control. And the simple fact of it is, these resellers who quit their full-time jobs just to sell shoes have no legitimate skills. You can't add it on your resume that you flipped Yeezys for 3 years thinking that you're going to impress anyone. Resellers who are now being forced to get real jobs are discovering this the hard way. They spent years, or in some cases even more than a decade, doing something that provided them with zero transferable skills. I feel like if you put reselling on a resume, you'll literally just look like a joke to any average person who's not involved in the community. They could have been developing real skills, getting internships, or building actual work experience. You know, creating an actual foundation for a legitimate career. Instead, they spent that time flipping shoes, and now they're in their mid-20s with nothing to show for it except a closet full of dead stock sneakers. The reality is, these sneaker resellers who quit their day jobs wasted years of their life on a scam. Rather than learning trades, developing a career, or building an actual business, they chose to be the middleman and scalp people for all of the money that they have. And now they're finally paying the price, and this is just awesome to see. But what's worse is that they still don't give up, and some resellers still haven't learned from all of the previous cycles that we've seen in hype. They're trying to pivot to other resale markets, still chasing after that unsustainable model and refusing to get real jobs. They're addicted to the idea of easy money, and it's just delusional. Stores that literally made millions of dollars a year in profit reselling shoes are going bankrupt. The only ones who are genuinely making it now are the ones who are pivoting to other products like Pokemon cards. And I genuinely feel feel bad for all of the people who are in these other markets that are now being infiltrated by all of these sneaker resellers. Imagine being into Pokemon cards for years before the hype, then the hype explodes out of nowhere, and now you can't even walk into a store and buy a single pack for your kid. But at the end of the day, the sneaker resale market has shown us that it never should have existed in the first place. Resellers convinced themselves that they were entrepreneurs building legitimate businesses, but now they're finally having to go and apply for real jobs. The resellers who quit their jobs, maxed out their credit cards, took out loans, signed leases on their stores, and pretty much just gambled their entire finances on sneaker reselling now have to face reality and realize that the bubble has finally burst. The sneaker community is much better off with all of the resellers. Regular consumers who actually want to buy the shoes now can, and now we can see who is actually into sneakers for the fashion and the culture and the love of it versus the people who only cared about money. The culture can now rebuild itself from the ground up around genuine enthusiasts of sneakers rather than the profit. The releases that are happening now go to the people who actually care about wearing the shoes, not just flipping them. And I know it might sound hypocritical with this sneaker wall behind me, but I've been collecting sneakers for over 10 years since I was in middle school. I'm not gonna lie, I have been trying to downsize my collection a little bit recently, and as someone who's been directly involved within the sneaker culture before and after this big boom, I can say for certainty that this is good for everyone except the sneaker resellers. But regardless, I'm happy that everyone who just wants to get a pair of shoes for retail can just now walk into a store and get them without having to deal with all the extra bullshit. But let me know what you think. Have you ever resold anything before? I feel like there's a big difference between selling something here and there versus the people who make it their actual careers. And now we're seeing with grown men scalpers who are doing the same with Pokemon cards. But luckily the market is crashing and the world is healing. And if you like content like this, feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel that are similar to this one. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I hear you, big dog. All right, like we got one more video. Yeah, that one was a case of terrible business model. Good marketing. You went after the things that you know people wanted. And then you told them, hey man, you bought up all the supply, and they told them, hey man, we got what you want. We got what you want here right now. Come get it. Great marketing. Buy up the supply, and if you got all of it, F it. You winning. But terrible business based solely on the idea that you're alienating the people that actually grew up and wanted to get these shoes because they wanted to have them. Now you're turning it into a business for profit for business. Other people are going to buy from you so they can go sell them to other people because they can't buy them for the regular price. And more times than not, they're not going to care about the damn shoes. They just doing it so they can go get some money back, so they can go get the shoes that they really want, like some Balenciaga trainers or something bullshit. Whereas if you were just able to buy whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted, you could care less and you get what you wanted. It just ain't like that no more. So terrible business, great marketing. The marketing the business is failing faster than the marketing can keep up with. That's all.
Destroys his reputation after a humiliating loss. I ain't gonna lie, I watched this fight live, and Andrew Tate need to go ahead and give me my $100 back. That junk was an absolute snooze fest. They was doing so much hugging, it looked more like jiu-jitsu or wrestling to me. I don't know what was going on. Absolute
I said to Tristan,
snooze fest.
The universe probably owes me this win, you know? I've been through so much. God and the universe probably owe me this win. I'm gonna train my ass off, but after all I've been through, they'll give it to me. Big bag of beatings with my name on it. Maybe my job on this planet is just to take a fucking beating over and over again and just pay for everyone else and give everybody else what they want. Maybe I'm just here to fucking suffer and get my ass kicked, and I'm going to do it all so I can give everyone else a fantastic life and give everyone else mindset advice. Nobody gives me mindset advice.
No, I think you just bought a boxing league, the Misfits Boxing from KSI, and the best way to promote that boxing league was for you to get in the ring yourself because you knew that's what people wanted to see and people would pay to see it.
Right.
I think it was just a business move, brother. I think it was just a money grab. I don't think you're Jesus Christ. I don't think you're dying for people's sins. Like, he's up here right now. He got to come on down to right here. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm fighting for everybody else. No, I think you're trying to make $20 million. I think that's what it is.
Nobody helps me.
It's just a boxing
Nobody
league.
helps me with my mindset and saves me when I'm depressed. No, maybe I'm just here to take a fucking beating like a piñata and give candy to everybody else. Maybe that's what God's plan was for me.
All right, so Andrew Tate has been going through it recently and after losing a boxing match last week, which was supposed to be a big comeback moment for him, because he was a world championship kickboxer when he was younger.
Right, but he was doing kickboxing, though. It's a totally different sport. Like, if you take a kickboxer, even a really good kickboxer, and you put them against a really good boxer, a kickboxer's going to have a tough time. Because, sure, boxing is a part of the sport of kickboxing, but it's equivalent to like, taking a football player. Sprinting is a part of football, right? But if you take the average football player and you put them against a pure sprinter, they're not going to stand a chance, generally speaking. Outside of a few names like Tyreek Hill, for the most part, they're not going to stand a chance because even though it's a part of that sport, it's still a totally different thing. So he was a professional kickboxer, like 15 years ago? I had a back injury that took me out of rugby. I used to play rugby for the USA national team. This is my medal right here from the 2019 Pan American Games. I play rugby, and after an injury that I had, I took 2 years off the sport, and I came back, and I made it to the national level again. Don't get me wrong, but I just wasn't the same, right? So taking that time off of a professional sport definitely affects your performance, and I think that, he took a lot of time out of the sport, and he was doing something that's really a different sport. Kickboxing and boxing are really different sports, and if you know about combat sports, you know that.
He's always posting videos of himself boxing, and obviously being a fighter is a big part of his persona. So competing in this influencer boxing league was a way for him to prove himself and to try to get back in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Because, he's fallen off quite a bit over the past few years.
Has he?
So this match was a big opportunity for him, and he needed to win this, and he was supposed to win pretty easily because of his experience, and the guy he fought is a reality TV star that barely knows how to fight.
But it's crazy, though, because a lot of people use this word like fall off, and sometimes I'm just thinking, like, do you expect somebody to be at the peak of their popularity forever? Like, would you say he fell off if he just made $20 million? I'd get my ass kicked for a lot less. I get in that ring and give it my best shot for a lot less. $20 million is a lot of money to walk away with, and I don't really call that fall. If that's falling off, I want to fall off.
I want to fall off,
Let me fall off. So, like, people throw this term around like falling off, and it's like, yeah, well, people aren't going to forever be at their peak popularity. That's kind of, it's kind of the nature of the game.
So going into this, the odds for Tate to win, according to Polymarket, were close to 90%. Then after the first round or two, the odds plummeted, and he ended up losing by decision.
I would imagine that's a bunch of his fans that believe that he would win because they just, they don't really understand sports, and they don't understand what 15 years of taking off of a sport can do to you, and they don't understand the fact that he's 40 years old, right?
I was really underwhelmed by his performance and how bad the fight was, because Tate was supposed to show people what a real fighter looks like and prove he's not just an influencer.
Crazy picture.
But most fight commentators were just like, what the hell was that? And Ariel Helwani said it might be the biggest fraud check of all time.
Is it fair to say that the greatest fraud check of all time happened on Saturday when Andrew Tate lost to Chase Damore? He should have never taken this fight. If there was any sort of doubt about him winning, he should have never taken this fight.
Why?
And now he's going online and he's doing the babyface thing of like, and I'd rather try and fail. No, that's
not. Is he throwing a pity party?
Your persona has nothing to do with failure. Your persona is about winning. Your persona is about achieving wealth and success. Your persona is not about trying, and hey, if you don't succeed, you gave it the old college try. That is the antithesis of everything that you have spewed. Miss me with the like, I'm proud of myself for trying, and I went in there against the champion who's really good. No, you didn't. You went in there and you looked awful and you failed.
As far as
I do understand the criticism, but I'm sorry, I'm a peasant. Like, I live in the real world here, and I don't know how rich you have to be for $20 million to not be enough for you to risk it, right? especially if you're not doing anything that's degrading to yourself. You're going into a boxing match, you train, you hope that you're going to win. Of course, you should be confident in yourself that you're going to win. That's what I would do. I would train as hard as I can. I would lie to myself and be as confident as I possibly could before I got into the ring. And win, lose, or draw, if I walk away with $20 million, that's not a loss to me. In my personal opinion, it's not about winning or losing a fight, even if we're just talking about two different men that have an issue with each other. It's more about the willingness to fight to me. Like the spirit of a man that's willing to fight for something they believe in, or to fight to protect something that they love, is more important than if that man wins or loses the fight, if that makes any sense to me. So I feel like this criticism is coming from people that are being dishonest. Either it's coming from people that are not even willing to get into the rings themselves because they're weenies. They sit behind podcasts and just talk shit about people who actually do the thing. Or it's coming from ex-fighters who are lying to themselves and acting like they're too big to get $20 million. I'm sure a lot of the ex-fighters that have had this conversation would be willing to get into the ring, even if they knew that they were going to lose in front of everybody, risk their quote-unquote reputation, which, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's going to negatively affect Andrew Tate's reputation. I think the people who like Andrew Tate are going to respect the fact that he was willing to get into the ring and fight. I think that that's what it's going to be for him, to be honest. I think it gives ammunition to the people who don't like him, but for the people who already like him, I don't think that they're going to go, Andrew Tate's not my hero. I don't like what Andrew Tate says anymore. I'm going to stop watching him because he lost a boxing match at 40 years old. I think that they're going to respect the fact that he was willing at 40 years old to get back into the ring and give it a shot. So, it's either coming from commentators that are not willing to fight, or it's coming from ex-fighters that are being dishonest, like they wouldn't take some money to go lose a match. I would take. Maybe I'm just broke. I don't know how rich you have to be for $20 million to not be enough to take this risk. I would do it. I would do it.
Skill and ability, it underdelivered.
Did Tate look bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked horrible. It didn't look good.
It didn't look good.
Yeah,
There's no way to say
He's been smoking them damn cigars. He's been chain smoking them cigars and hookah. That's what he's been doing. That's the problem.
He looked gassed after 3 rounds.
Yeah. Very low level. I've seen a lot of Misfits fights. I've seen a lot of influencer boxing matches. They were all better than this.
Yeah.
Or a plummet. I think he never should have done this. In hindsight, he never should have done this.
MMA Guru is goated, by the way. He is just a commentator, but I love his commentary. I'm not going to lie.
This was supposed to be his big re-entry into the world, but this was like a big humiliation for him. Because Chase is awful and he still lost.
So this performance was terrible for Tate's image, because like Ariel was saying, his whole persona is being a cocky alpha male tough guy who's the best at everything, who really knows how to fight. Like he's a championship kickboxer. You always hear about that. And he's trained his whole life.
Bro, people who knew how to fight really well still lose fights, especially when they get older and they stop fighting for 15 years. That happens, bro. And maybe I'm speaking as an ex-athlete who understands like how when you leave the sport, this affects you. But this is coming from people who have never competed in anything seriously in their lives.
He almost fought Alex Pereira at one point, and he could have been in the UFC if he had trained for it. So he's hyped himself up like crazy.
Now that's a lie.
Also over the summer, he claimed to have fought 60 guys in a row. But then last week during his fight, he was completely gassed by the 3rd round.
Yeah, anybody who believed that he fought 60 people in a row have never boxed. Have never done any combat sport. It's something very specific about combat sports where I don't care how conditioned you are in every single arena. You start punching for 2 minutes straight and you realize it's a totally different. You have to train to condition for boxing or MMA to do it. You can't just do it other types of. You have to get ready for that to do that thing. It's very exhausting.
I mean, he was just trying to survive at that point, which obviously was not his goal in that fight at all. People thought this was going to be a layup, an easy W for him. Then he'd go on to call out Jake Paul or KSI or somebody. So now he has to rethink his whole boxing career after one comeback fight. I mean, this was a total disaster for him. And now it seems like the cope is starting to set in. Like right after his loss, he was pretty humble about it. But then a few days after, he did a live stream that turned into a giant cope session.
Wait, what did he say right here? Let me read this. 100 years from now, somewhere on the new earth, there will be a man reading about me in a history section of Skynet. No. I don't think that's true. Yeah, I don't think that's. And that's not because I never lost, but instead because I always tried. Yeah, I respect people who try things.
About it. But then a few days after, he did a live stream that turned into a giant cope session, and this just made things so much worse. because now he's trying to think of any excuse he can while also saying he isn't making excuses. I mean, he talks about how he would have won if he didn't get tired, and he's like, I don't know why I got tired. You know, maybe I'm too old, maybe he's leaning on me too much.
Maybe you would have won if you didn't get tired, but you got tired, and that's why you lost. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, loser.
But of course, he won't admit maybe he should have done more cardio training.
Exactly.
You know, instead he acts like he did everything he possibly could leading up to this fight, and the reason he lost was just out of his control.
He deserves the credit. He earned it. And I'm not going to take that away from him with excuses, talking about rematches, making up bullshit about how he grabbed me or some crap. He won, and he deserves it. And I pay my debts. I've not yet had time to process why he beat me. I got tired after the second round.
Right.
And I don't know why. The first and second round, he couldn't touch me. If I didn't get tired, I would have won.
Yeah, but you did, though.
I'm a better boxer. But I did get tired.
Yeah, but part of boxing is having stamina. That's a part of the sport. You could be good for a while, but if you don't have the endurance, that's when you lose. That's a part of the thing. You're not a better boxer if you lost because you was tired. That's a part of the boxing, right? Like, I can't say I'm a better marathon runner because I start the marathon sprinting full speed for 200 meters, right? And they just finish and go, well, I'm faster than everybody else. No, that's not how that works.
Maybe it's ring rust. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe he's too heavy and he kept leaning on me. I don't know why. But he beat me. And let me make something else very clear to you. I have complete respect for Chase D'Amour.
And of course now also he's acting like, well, at least I tried. That's what's most important. It's so funny this loss just destroyed his whole persona. Tate from a few years ago would be mocking this kind of participation trophy mentality. I mean, this is supposed to be the top G, you know, the number one alpha male everybody looks up to, who just wins at everything. Like he once tweeted, what do you call someone who loses? A loser.
Okay. Like, duh. What were they trying to say? That's not what you call it. What do you call it? Detendonism.
Yeah, I try to defend you, brother, but this is unacceptable because look, I understand we live in this participation medal kind of culture. Everybody's supposed to be a winner. You're online. The best thing to do to get engagement and clicks and views is to be hyperbolic. So you say something like, what do you call someone who loses? A loser. But this is damning evidence, brother, because by your own definition now, you are a loser. Loser. But see, like, I always lean back on this, and everything isn't about money to me, but it's not about money when it compromises your morality. To me, going into it, I don't know if I'm just a broke bitch because I keep going back to this. I don't know if I'm just a brokey because for me to take the risk to win $20 million, I'm going to train my hardest and do my best, but I'm going to take that risk. $20 million is enough for me to take that risk. So are you really a loser? You lost the battle, but you kind of won the war. Right? I go into the boxing ring and lose the battle, but on the back end, when I get that $20 million check, I kind of won the war. Maybe I'm just broke. Maybe I don't care about legacy enough because I don't think that it would affect my legacy to try and fail. But by his own definition, especially if you're just talking about the boxing match, he's a loser. You're a loser.
And I would
but I'm a loser too by that definition. That medal I just showed you was a bronze medal. I take pride in it. I gave it my all in that rugby tournament, and so I take pride in the medal that I got. I don't think everybody's going to win everything, so there are damn near everybody in the world is a loser by this definition then, and I'm okay with being that then.
One loses, and I deserve credit for at least trying.
Napoleon is in the history books. He lost battles. Muhammad Ali lost.
True.
Tyson lost.
These are true things.
Champions sometimes lose. Sometimes the stars just don't align and you just lose. And you have to know that and you accept that when you agree to take the risk in the first place.
And sometimes you don't prepare well. And sometimes when you was sleeping on the ground, you had more hunger. You was younger. you had more hunger towards the thing you're doing, but now you're rich, you got comfortable, because that's when Mike Tyson started to lose. He started to lose once he got wealthy, got comfortable, and started doing cocaine and sleeping with supermodels. That's when he started to lose. When he was young and hungry, he still had it in him. I think Tate has been living a very comfortable life. Not only has he aged out of the sport, he hasn't competed in a while, and he's been used to a cushy life. He's been, you start to act different. You don't fight as hard when you live in a cushy life.
And that is the barrier that prevents most people from getting anywhere. The what if I lose? What if you lose? I just lost in front of the world. Got paid $20 million dollars. I'm fine.
Right.
I just lost.
I ain't gonna lie, right.
And of course,
right.
he has to mention how much money he made to be like, you guys really think I care I lost? I mean, I just made a bag from this. So now apparently winning and his legacy isn't that important to him. And he also used to be all about self-accountability. Like if you're not successful, if you're a broke loser, if you lose at something, you're just not trying hard enough. But now that he lost, it's like, well, the universe wanted this. It wasn't under my control. He literally acts like the universe just wanted the other guy to win because he wouldn't be able to handle a loss as well as Tate.
Sure, Cope Kardashian. That is 10 out of 10 Cope. That is 100% Cope. The universe wanted me to lose because I'm going to accept the loss better than the other guy would. That's Cope. Just take the loss.
I could have done. It's all up to the universe.
Why did I get tired? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. The only thing that makes sense is that I was not supposed to win. Why was I not supposed to win? Maybe the win means more to Chase than it would have mean to me. Maybe Chase couldn't handle the loss. Maybe God decided, you know what, Chase has been through enough with mocking and things on the internet. Chase doesn't need the loss right now.
No,
Andrew can handle the loss better. Maybe God decided. Maybe if I won, we would have went out and celebrated that night, and Tristan would have smoked a bunch of cigars, and maybe he would have died 1 minute earlier. And maybe I get an extra minute with my brother because I lost. And if that's the case, then I'm glad I lost. You have to have faith in a higher power. There's a lesson in all of this. If God decides that for some reason he's going to instantly gas me when I was in perfect physical condition so that I lose, then I have to accept God's decision. And I'll take the punches in the face.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it, like all the things he's saying, but it's still Cope. Right, it's still Cope for losing, and by his definition, becoming now a loser. It's still Cope for that, though. He's right. Like, it's good to look at the silver lining and think, what if all of these things bad could have happened if I maybe won? Maybe this was just what was meant to be for me. But at the end of the day, it's still Cope, right?
Like a man, and I'm not going to bitch, I'm not going to complain, and I'm not going to cry. I'm going to take it. God decided on that day.
Yeah.
That's what has to happen to me, so I did it.
So he claims he was in perfect physical condition, but he got gassed after 2 rounds because God just felt bad for his opponent and was worried about Andrew's brother smoking too many cigars if he won. I mean, that's got to be the most insane Cope I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's
and apparently now it's not always up to people's effort. Like, there's nothing Tate could have done. This is just how the universe wanted things to play out. But imagine if he did win that fight. It'd be
Haters are like females. Nothing you can say, no matter how heinous, bothers them as much as ignoring them completely and living a happy life.
Completely different story, and he'd be more arrogant than ever. He'd be like, that's why I'm the best. That's why I'm the top G. I always win. And that was all me out there. But instead, now it's this victim mentality. He's like, I'm not complaining or making excuses, but then he says, if I didn't go to jail, I would have won. If this were a few years ago, I would have won. And he blames Romania for ruining his fighting career. And he acts like, man, I just can't catch a break. The universe hates me. But again, his whole persona is the exact opposite of that. He claims to have it all in life, and he thinks everybody's jealous of him. And earlier this year, he said, it must suck to be a loser and watch life's winners win over.
Yeah, I think losing is more about a mentality than it is about taking a loss, right? I think if you can lose and then reevaluate yourself and become better at what you want to be good at, I think that losing is a good thing. I think it could be a valuable lesson. Maybe it takes you off of your high horse. Maybe it teaches you that you're human and that you do have flaws in whatever you're trying to be good at, and you need to patch those flaws up. I think that there are a lot of lessons in losing. So I think being a loser specifically is more of a mentality than it is actually losing. Everybody loses, right?
Over and over again. But now he just sounds so sad and pathetic, and there's like nothing he can do. He always just is taking L's, and he has to be a punching bag. And it sounds like he almost starts crying.
I'm not so old. I'm 39. But staying active till 39 is very different than coming out of a 10-year retirement at 39. If I was 23, would I beat Chase? Of course.
Maybe in kickboxing.
Would I have beat Chase 3 years ago? Before the Romanians threw me in a fucking jail cell and forced me to sit in my house for 3 years for no reason? Yeah. Am I bitter? Am I going to sit here and cry that the Romanian government, the most corrupt government in the fucking EU, stole my prime years, my last years I could fight at my best? Am I going to cry about it? No. You can't undo moves in life. Tristan said to me, what happened? I said, I got tired. I don't know why. You deserve that win. You've been through so much. You deserve that win. I said, I know. He goes, you trained so hard. You're in fantastic shape. I said, I know. I just got tired. If I didn't get tired, I would have beat him. He couldn't hit me in the first round. He couldn't touch me.
That's true, though. He was winning. I'm not going to lie. That was true. He was definitely winning the first 2 rounds. Third round, it started to get shaky, and from there, it was all downhill. I mean, and you could see the fatigue. It looked bad. Like, y'all might have to go watch it. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. You could probably find it somewhere for free now. He already hit me over the head for the $100, but y'all could probably watch it for free. And, yeah, it looked horrible. Like, it looked bad.
Watching you find the silver linings in all of the clouds. You deserve to have a sunny day. You're so good at finding a silver lining on a cloud. Every time something bad happens, you find a way to learn something or make it good. But I'm tired of you having to suffer all the time. Why can't you just ever have a nice day?
I understand he's trying to give a lesson in losing, but it's like, it's not that deep, brother. You just took a loss. He just turned this into a whole philosophical conversation. It's like, okay, just take the loss, bro. Win the $20 million and go have fun. If you take the $20 million and you go start to have fun, I go, dang, he just came up on the money and now he's just having a blast. Now that you sitting here looking all depressed and giving this monologue, I'm starting to think you really feel like your legacy has been affected. And I mean, I genuinely couldn't care less. I couldn't care
can't
less.
You ever have a sunny day? We've had so many fucking clouds that we've got a lot of fucking silver. So I guess that's what it is. And maybe I'm just here to fucking suffer and get my ass kicked, and I'm going to do it all so I can give everyone else a fantastic life and give everyone else mindset advice. Nobody gives me mindset advice. Nobody helps me. Nobody helps me with my mindset and saves me when I'm depressed. No, maybe I'm just here to take a fucking beating like a piñata and give candy to everybody else. Maybe that's what God's plan was for me.
So he's going out sad. What a downfall. And now whenever he posts, he just gets clowned on in the comments. And of course, all the cope from the tater tots is hilarious.
Well, those are always the people that didn't like him anyway, all right? Those are the people who didn't like him, and they wanted more ammunition. And the reason why this is going to negatively affect him is because they just have this ammunition. These pictures are damning. When you sitting there on your knees hugging another man's legs, I understand it's a part of the sport. There are pictures in every sport. I'm sure in my rugby career, you could get some crazy pictures of me looking desperate, trying to cling, being tired, playing rugby. It's a very brutal sport, especially when you're tired. I'm sure you can really get some bad pictures, but when you're a person like Andrew Tate, those pictures are never going to go away. So unless you have the personality that's capable of dealing with that, it could be a bad move for you. But, you know, for me personally, again, I have to go back to I'm broke, and $20 million is enough for me to have a smile on my face.
Yes, too.
It's enough for me.
You know, they're saying he actually won and the other guy cheated. And to defend Tate, this one fan account is like, bro, Tate smokes cigars all day and is literally retired. So it sounds like he probably didn't train enough and maybe isn't disciplined enough to stop smoking and partying. And maybe it wasn't just the universe that held him back. Also, now fighters are questioning how legit his world championships were. So this was disastrous for Tate. I mean, just a few years ago, there's talk of him fighting Jake Paul or Logan Paul. But now there's probably no chance of that happening. Yeah. And Tate would probably just get his ass kicked.
Well, that just comes with being cocky, right? If you're cocky or you're overly confident, you better win, because there are a lot of people that are going to cheer when you lose. That's just how it kind of goes. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L. Give me the HBO special. That's a brother out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I don't know. That seemed like it was good marketing and good business. It's just now you're stepping on the product by talking shit about the person that you picked to fight. Now you talking shit about the person you were supposed to be that you fought. So did you pick a bad person to fight? And if so, is that indicative of your boxing league from here on out, or is it just, oh, I picked a bad person to fight for me right now in this situation? You know what I'm saying? It's a thin line to be trying to walk, especially if you're going to be the business owner that participates in the business. As far as any kind of contact grows, you look kind of stupid. But, you know, hey, if you're going to get $20 million to take a fall, I don't see a problem with that. I take $20 million for a fall right now. Same with Jake Paul. What was that, $200 million or something like that? To get your ass whooped? Shit. I mean, get a broke jaw is probably a different level. But $200 million? I'd take it. Fuck you mean? I ain't mad at that at all. It is what it is. I'd take that lump on the chin again right now. No questions asked. It is what it is. Break my shit. 200 million? Real quick. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you. Because I would take it. I'd do it. But then also, you know, it ain't up to me. It ain't up to me. It ain't up to me. That's up to you, whether or not you down for that kind of shit or not. I am. I'd take that fall. Quick. I'd take that fall. But, you know, hey, it is what it is, man. It's up to you whether or not you succeed or fail out here in this weird ass world that we living in, man. And a lot of times it might be the business that might be holding you back. And a lot of times it might be just shitty marketing to hold you back. It could be shitty. It could be great marketing that makes your shitty business look great to where you can actually make it as good as it's supposed to be, or vice versa. In my situation, I got good product here. I got shitty marketing. I'm only one person. Kind of failed a little bit, but I'm not mad at it. But you know, hey man, everything gonna get better. The more and more you try to do, the better you get at what you're doing. You'll get better at what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go. And as long as everybody believes in that and everybody works towards what's the shit called? The end goal. The end goal is where you want to go, then you're going to eventually get to where you're trying to get. You know what I mean? And that's the hardest part to deal with and the hardest part to figure out where you're going to, what you're doing with it. Because you're going to have to make decisions. You're going to spend more money in the production and the product itself, the business, and let it speak for itself? Or are you going to spend all the money in the marketing and then hope that the marketing brings in enough business to where you can equalize the business to the marketing level? It's up to you. It's up to how this stuff pans out, man. It is what it is. But all I know is that, you know, just keep going. Keep going, dog. Shit, that's all I got for y'all today, man. I only got them 4 videos, so it is what it is. Y'all be easy, y'all be safe. If you make some money when I'm not around, make sure y'all bring the receipt so I know you balling. You know what I mean? Peace.